Were we blades in that one?
For the love of snipes, how many times do I have to say it? Keep it singular. There is only one blade. Also, show never gives us the context for any of this. If it does it in another episode, fine, I'll give back like 30 sins. But for now, I'm all horned up for the alternate gem dimension, and the show keeps rolling over, insisting it has a headache.
Hello?
Morty gets cell phone reception in space. Meanwhile, I lose connection anytime a nearby squirrel farts. Don't ask me how I know, I just know, okay? Painting your toenails on your bed with no towel or any kind of protection underneath.
Life support
that's a great
systems
point.
failing.
The 3D holographic warning system, however, is operating at full capacity. I'd appreciate the detail in this call screen, except that your screen darkens when you have it next to your face, so there's really no reason for it to be showing anyway. Look at all that work you did for nothing, Rick and Morty. Do you feel ashamed?
Come on, come on!
This works.
You touched the ocean, Morty.
Technically, the ship is touching the ocean. Rick and Morty are still in said ship, so I don't see how the treaty we're about to find out about with Mr. Nimbus has been broken.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
Now face the wrath of your once and eternal foe, Mr. Nimbus.
Sorry? Who is that? My nemesis.
Nimbus is never named, noted, nor noticed until now. Noteworthy nemesis named nonstop normally. This Nimbus Nimrod not nearly known enough for Nemesis nomination.
I am Mr. Nimbus.
He's gonna say that a lot.
I mean, I would too if that was my name. It's Mr. Nimbus. It's a lot better than Namor. Uses magic ray to double the length of the table, but has to use a cloth to clean up the wine spill. Sure, why not?
Is that his nemesis?
Rick has a nemesis?
Rick and Morty is clearly poking fun at shows that introduce some random pivotal character in a later season, such as Cousin Oliver in The Brady Bunch or Eli Scruggs on Desperate Housewives. But Rick and Morty is only so good at poking fun at these tropes because they're too guilty of using these tropes. It's the classic comedy trope-a-dope, and we ain't falling for it, Rick and Morty.
Summer is gonna dive into the Marianas Trench to recover the forbidden shell that gives him his power.
Allowing your granddaughter to dive into the Marianas Trench to recover the forbidden shell that gives Mr. Nimbus his power without her parents' explicit consent.
So time moves faster in there? It's like a Narnia thing?
I'm not a beaver who believes in Jesus Christ, Morty.
I think they call them Belbeavers. They're a distant cousin to the Beliebers. It's a long story. Also, he didn't ask if you were a Narnian, just if it was like Narnia in there. I don't know, man. All that defensiveness probably means you want to believe in Jesus. Or be a beaver. It's probably the beaver thing.
Mr. Nimbus is an ice-cold killer, Morty.
Pretty sure Morty already experienced the ice-cold killer sensation a few minutes ago when Jerry and Beth declared their love of porn to him.
Police, a strange, horny ocean man is on my lawn.
Horny? Because he wears a Speedo? Likes to moisturize? Moves sensually? Just because he's sexy doesn't make him horny, Jerry. Project much?
Fight. Flee.
Jeez, Nimbus sums up the entirety of the human relationship cycle in 5 seconds. I don't know whether to take a sin off for the intense but hilarious depth, or sob in the corner contemplating the mundanity of my existence. In other words, yeah, it's a Rick and Morty episode. Leaving the recliner chair reclined. Patricide.
Fine, whatever. Terms. Term number 1.
How does Nimbus not hear this? He's right across the table. I accidentally had a video playing with similar noises across the table one time, and now I'm disinvited from family Thanksgiving. Also, where is this camera exactly, and did Rick plan it? And if Rick did plan it, why didn't he just grab the forbidden shell while he was down there?
I thought you already went.
I did. I just got a little busy.
Why would you make up a lie that makes you look bad when the truth would make more sense and take the blame off of you? Yeah, I got it, but the adults wanted all of it. Bing, bang, boom, time to suck face.
Where is your wine boy, Richard? I thirst.
He's getting it.
Now, I'm not sure why Rick thinks this because he didn't ask Morty to get more wine.
What if it gets weird?
Even just contemplating having sex with the fish guy already puts this in the weird category, so you might as well just go all in at this point, Jerry. The wine survives this. Centuries of this.
Isn't every end a beginning? Stay back! I don't want your stripped-down Sundance sci-fi bull.
Oh, Rick and Morty, how I hath missed you. Take your sin back for just being you, old friend.
Can you believe he bought that tree bullshit?
Easier than I can believe they've been running the simulation nonstop all these years just waiting on Morty to return.
But sure, yeah, go for it. Make us slightly more wet.
Title of my sex tape?
I just took some wine. I said I was sorry. What the f is wrong with you people?
But it was Morty's wine to take. So why does he think that that's the issue here? He realizes he's killed a lot of their people, right? It is Morty, though, so I guess maybe he doesn't realize this.
Frozen in time, forever asleep.
And exactly how long has forever been again? Morty leaves one time and comes back a decade later, but another time it seems millennia have passed? If you think I'm not going to send your inconsistent portal time passage rules just because you didn't officially establish any, you have severely underestimated my willingness to stretch for a sin.
Why did I clone myself genitally?
Weird Hoovy clone guy would be excellent at TV sins.
Let me Deus Ex Machina this shit and let's go home.
I believe you mean Deus Ex Machina. If you're gonna try to be all excellent at TV sins and such, at least throw a portmanteau in there to pretend to keep it fresh.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Why? Because it has a setting that disintegrates all clothing except the parts covering the genitals? I'd go with convenient, or prudish. Prudvenient?
Did you think I would let you die alone, Richard?
Pelvis Ex Junkina. See? That's how it's done.
Yes. Time. I had nothing but time.
But he's never...
While Rick winces in pain at this nutshot, I feel the need to point out that he's been standing here nonchalantly ignoring chunks of flesh out of his body. Either you feel pain or you don't, Rick. You can't have it both ways.
You two are hungry.
Yep. Good thing you made a fresh plate of, I'm gonna say, strained orange pulp, mashed potatoes with amber food coloring, a pile of Sunny D slushy. I'm not sure what it is, but don't you try to pull off that vomitous mass's eggs. You know better.
Can I kill God?
Stop, Summer.
Summer took out an onslaught of underwater foes in the previous episode. How would she not be useful when going to battle anyone? And sure, she's a clone, so maybe that wasn't this summer, but it's too early in this episode to know that.
Sweetie, don't get all worked up before your job interview.
Job interview.
Show doesn't resolve this. I mean, I know that's the point, but you can almost hear the audible glee in the writer's room when they're like, let's introduce B-plot hanging threads so we can troll the audience with this ultimately meaningless episode. And you know how much I hate threads and things that are hanging. So Jerry and Morty are shot side by side, but in the overhead view, they're now separated by a table. And hey, where did that juicy plate of not eggs go? Oh no, they died. This show has killed its main characters so much that caring about them is like eating your 8th piece of pizza. I mean, you still like pizza and all, but at that point you've eaten too much. But also once you get to 8, is 9 really gonna make that much of a difference? So you stuff it down like the meaningless hunk of matter it is and wonder if anything even means anything anymore.
Hunt me, somebody hunt me!
If Sweaty Deathwish here truly wanted to be hunted, he'd be hiding in a bit more stealth. What he should be saying is, chase me, or kill me.
I'm Mr. Always Wants to Be Hunted. Yes, and how interesting did you think that would stay?
Show then proceeds to hunt itself for the next 20-some minutes, making another self-referential dig, which in turn makes my job even harder, so ding it, I shall. Golf.
Well, I don't see any stakes in them.
Summary of the biggest issue with Rick and Morty at this point somehow makes it into the episode. And by somehow, I mean the writers intentionally put it there as a meta wink to self-diffuse any criticism because they probably think it's not a bug, it's a feature, but in either case, it is a sin. So the new family we think is our family suddenly dies, and I guess this is the part where I remember that it isn't a new season of Rick and Morty until we have a good old game of Fort Smith Monty. The only explanation as to how this green car missed the arrival of a spacecraft and the obliteration of the adjacent vehicle is distracted driving. Put your phones away, people. Holy crap, has Morty called me by your naming at the age of 14? When the outside grows on the inside and then reaches back outside, your plant addiction has gone too far. How many lavender shirts does one person who only wears coral shirts need? This armor somehow flattens the basketball hoop on the garage without it moving, folding, or pieces of it flying off. And also leaves large sections of the roof and walls unprotected. Rick would suck at purge survival is all I'm saying.
Decided it was maybe better as a kind of kinetic mislead for another special episode.
Jeez, Rick and Morty is so up its own ass with his fourth wall destruction. And I swear an episode in season 6 will just be a static camera filming the actual actor's table read. It will be so clever.
But then eat people. Yeah.
During this scene, I thought, oh, interesting, I'm eating popcorn too. And then, as each murder devolves into organs and viscous explosions, my level of popcorn enjoyment began to wane. This is a sin for me forgetting to never eat while watching this show.
I'm not looking at your ass!
Public beaches.
Summer, you fucking idiot.
Calling your granddaughter an idiot while concurrently exposing your dick in her direction.
Jerry, come on, family emergency.
A bigger emergency than my lemon squares not setting?
You mean those lemon squares that appear to be stacked nicely on top of each other, indicating that they have indeed set pretty well? All right, we've seen enough of these decoy houses to ask the question. Are we really suggesting that all these decoys have been set up with not only identical houses, but in identical neighborhoods? And most importantly, why do they all have the driveway crack from when the house was removed and replaced in season 1?
I think you got the wrong house, bro. Analysis mode, password 80085.
Kind of expected a funnier password.
I kind of expected a Rick would have shot another Rick in the head already in the time it took him to make that password boobs joke. Are the golden circles the decoys or the concentric circles? And why is there no text on the map so we can point out inconsistencies? This map is confusing and is hindering my ability to do my intended job of actually pointing out real sins instead of just making jokes. Or hindering my ability to make jokes instead of just pointing out real sins, depending on who you listen to.
Analysis mode 80085. No.
But if these aren't this Rick's decoys, then why were they on this Rick's terrible map?
Analysis mode, password 8 =, D.
Honestly, the vertical bar in number 3 works better in most fonts. Go ahead and throw in a few more equal signs while you're at it. Am I right, fellas?
Before you say anything, they were already killing each other.
And you saw that through 2 walls? Also, 3 spaceships, a lava gun, a house engulfed in flames, and exactly 0 nosy neighbors. Show doesn't know how to suburb correctly.
Connery plays the Spaniard, but does nothing about his accent.
I presume Decoy Rick would be excellent at CinemaSins on TV Sins.
I say we split up. Some of us take down squids while the rest
Engage
of
in
us...
B stories while off the track simultaneously? No thank you.
D&D conversations.
Why are we wearing these?
Better question. Where did you get these? Do they have an assortment of fabrics and foam to construct these costumes? Did they make a stop at the fabric store?
There's one.
Conveniently. Why is Jerry even holding an active bomb after the crash? Is it in any way in Jerry's character to be aware of how to do something like this or even want to do it in the first place? It's either accidentally convenient or out of character, and Cinny is hungry today, so feast, Cinny, feast. How exactly are these restraints containing the Smiths? If they have room to breathe, they have room to wriggle out the top of these things.
Can't kill you yet. The skin needs to be fresh.
So why peel the skin off at all? If the skin is removed from its blood supply, it'd likely start to die pretty quickly. The peeled skin is already unfresh is what I'm saying. Also, you can't simply banana someone and still leave the victim alive. At least that's what Jeremy told me.
Come on, there's a place we can go.
And despite knowing that all of the clones, decoys, would also be somewhat programmed to want to kill each other, they do in fact go. Is this decoy missing his pickle, Rick? It doesn't appear that Mr. Skin cut it off, and you can't spell decoy without the D.
What about the squids?
The Summers are going to explain that the squids were decoys who realized they were decoys and wanted to kill the other decoys, and sure, fine, whatever. But in a world of apparently countless decoys, have none of them died before now to start this Asimov cascade? Have you met Jerry? Like 12% of Jerry's die within the first year of existence.
An absolutely pendulous ball.
I mean, is that something anyone wants?
Now the only way to prove I'm real and not him is to ice his expository ass.
Self-referential exposition. The shield lowers, and somehow this version of the family is battle-charred and bruised, which seems unlikely because their shield has been protecting them up until now, and also in the previous shot, they were completely normal. I'll just point out once again that no one outside of the Smith family seems to be interested in this insane activity happening all around them. Not one civilian, passing cars, stray animals, police officer, or really anyone is alarmed by what is happening in these streets.
You want to get in one more I told you so about synthetic life or whatever this week's theme is?
How are these mouths moving? Big Bird's mouth moved because one of the puppeteer's arms was actually moving his head instead of Big Bird's other arm. But clearly both arms are functioning here as Rick gestures around. So what moves the mouth? I want to say technology. I want to believe technology. And I think it's just convenient animation because those heads are as hollow as a presidential promise. Rick survives this, I think. Or Decoy Rick maybe survives whatever this is. Someone survives something. That much I'm sure. Ha! Both Jerrys stopped fighting to hug. Hunty McPherson here. One-shot fatalities the entire Smith family, but only wounds Rick for reasons? And did you just bleep McPherson? Oh, yeah, I hear it now.
You should have hunted me. What? Who?
Since the show apparently wants to sin itself, I'll let Rick handle it from here.
Were you significant? Like, did we tee you up? You want to be hunted? God, I have so many questions. Decoys.
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 Decoy?
Decoys. Decoys.
Decoy?
Decoys.
Decoy?
Decoys. Decoys.
Decoys?
They were
Decoys?
decoys.
Decoys?
Decoys.
Decoys?
Decoys. 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 Decoys.
Decoys? Decoys?
Decoys.
Decoys?
Decoy. Decoy. Decoys. Decoys. Decoy. 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 Decoys. 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 The decoys. 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 Decoys.
Decoys?
Decoys. Decoys.
Decoys?
Decoy. Decoys. Decoy.
Decoy? Decoy? Decoys? Decoys?
Decoy.
Decoys?
Decoy. Decoys.
Decoys?
Decoys.
Decoy?
Decoy.
Decoy? Say decoy again.
F you.
This might be bold, but I'm going to have to remove a sin before we even start. This dog here, fishing for a t-shirt that says compliments only, is a great visual gag. Look, man, game respects game. However, as the Sin Lords doth giveth, they equally doth taketh away. There's absolutely no need to censor the word patty here.
Hells yeah, I fucking love merch.
Okay, show, when you say you love merch and you flaunt a shirt, you sell it. We have a new Prometheus shirt we showed off in a video recently. It's also available in our store. Whereas I scrolled through 5 pages of shirts to only discover that this shirt isn't even available. You know, though, now that I really think about it, they really did spare me a lot of horrible looks at the Sunday buffet rush.
My acid rain will destroy all things green and natural.
But not the very natural skin of the Diesel Weasel, or its very natural body parts in general. Those are immune, for reasons.
There's only one solution for Earth's pollution. You!
Planetina looks straight to camera as if she has a polar ice cap's chance in hell of changing the lifestyle habits of an audience which is currently juggling their free hand from a Reddit scroll, an energy drink, and their own personal Yosemite shirt.
What the f was that?
Kidnapping. Also, that was an obvious ripoff of Captain Planet. And by your powers combined, I will not have our childhood hero mocked. Go Planeteers!
Mother Nature has enlisted the help of 4 young adults from each major ethnicity.
That's actually not racist, but the way the show pokes fun of it might be.
Great, Taylor Murphy dumps me the day before his hella big pool party, and my little brother's dating a Phase 4 superhero.
Actually, Summer, I think you'll find that Planetina can't even be in Phase 4 because she isn't even in the MCU canon. I mean, she doesn't even appear.
Just shoot me in the f***ing head until I die.
A comment that is very triggering while simultaneously meaningless after that bullshit decoy episode. What in the name of sweet baby Meeseeks is going on with Jerry's breakfast? How does he expect to eat this soft-boiled egg if his toast isn't pre-cut into strips ready for dipping? He can't afford to cut the toast now. Every second he wastes, the gooey egg interior is slowly solidifying. Also, the egg wasn't even cooked. And why didn't he rescue the toast? Why is breakfast?
3 planets are all ending in a delayed succession.
Surely there must be a multitude of cataclysmic events befalling a plethora of planets across the universe. If Rick really wanted to go on a doomed planet bar crawl, isn't his ship fast enough to prevent their proximity to each other from being the limiting factor? Or failing this, couldn't he use his, oh, I don't know, portal gun?
If you don't want to help me, I'll find my own goddamn way to the wildfire.
Kids.
Tina girl, have you gained weight?
Well, I had a plant-based donut yesterday, just a half.
Sugar is worst thing for figure, darling.
I don't know what's worse about this exchange. The fact that Tina's being fat-shamed for eating a donut, or that said donut was plant-based. I'm gonna send both, just to be safe.
This is freaking you out, huh?
No, what's freaking me out is this phone fitting into that pocket.
So are you 2 dating?
Asking this question to a kid. Bonding with your grandparent over, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, the while in the.
Don't look now, but someone's giving you the big eye.
What? In a sea of aliens with big eyes all staring at them on the party float? You don't say.
Ready, right. Meet me at the car.
Calling a ship a car.
One of these has to be hers. Where'd she go?
Where'd the purses come from? They leapt away seconds ago and returned with 50 bags. Were they having sex next to the lost and found room? Also, why would a race of aliens bring their purses to an end of the world orgy and then abandon them at the bar? Money would be meaningless, identification pointless, and whatever other products you keep in your bag, you'd kind of want to have them on your person, right? Also, many of these purses are shoulder length, and I'd think their sensitive elbow orifices would rub up on the bag and either overstimulate or chafe or both. Me. Why does this show make me think of these things? How do you let someone permanently tattoo the wrong arrow directions on your body? I mean, you're literally wearing the reference on your chest, so you know better.
Idiots, zap her away!
No, wait!
Isn't it interesting how they can summon Planetina and whatever she is holding, but can also force her to be dismissed without the item she holds? This spell was obviously crafted by the Dark Lord that rules plots in the world of convenience. This really must be the greatest party in the universe. This guy's loving it so much he duplicated himself so he can enjoy it from 12 different perspectives. Neat.
Your lords, honey.
Calling a woman honey. Actually calling anyone honey. You don't even know me, Kristen from Denny's. Oh, that's how you smoke marijuana. I mean, I of course knew that because I smoke the reefer all the time. Wow, how about this weather? Sure is unseasonably warm tonight. What is this mop made of that would allow it to break a storage shelf and obliterate a container? What are Morty's teeth made of that would allow him to instantly bite off a finger? What are his lips made of that he could blast a firebolt out of his mouth without any singeing?
Fire! Fire!
We've seen enough of these now that I really shouldn't be surprised by how quickly and remorselessly Morty turns to murder. And yet...
His phone keep going to voicemail.
His phone has been ringing for 1 minute and 43 seconds before going to voicemail? What sort of hellhole are they living in? They should be relieved by their impending deaths. Also, voicemail.
Which one of you ordered a pizza?
No one ordered pizza. What is this?
Not ordering pizza is always a sin. Morty shows up in a murder pie hat, and my question is, did he swipe a hat from a local pizzeria with that name? Or did he stop at a hat embroidery store and have this whipped up for just such an occasion? Imagine either being so dumb or having so little regard for human life that you repeatedly machine gun your boss just because your intended target ran behind her. I've never had a magical ring streaming air forced into my mouth before, but let's say I had. I truly believe my instinct would be to keep my mouth open rather than create an unimaginably tight seal around said ring.
Not cool.
I'm not a fan of gratuitous murder, but this right here gets my seal of approval. Sorry, I've been harboring that one for a while. Okay, I'll stop now. Small consolation, but the soon-to-be-dead Slartivartian would be great at TV sins. Not keeping your eyes on the road while driving through what appears to be an asteroid field.
That's right, girlfriend. This is what you're up against.
Elbow hemorrhoids? Olecranon prolapse?
Becerra, elbow titties on Morglutz.
Okay, hitting your funny bone under any circumstances is agony, but I can't begin to imagine how painful it would be to accidentally catch these L boobies on, say, the corner of a table. You know what? I have someone I could check with. Hey, Danae!
Yes?
How much would that hurt?
It would suck.
Yeah, that sounds right. Thanks.
You're welcome. Weirdos.
Then I put my sunglasses on and walked out like nothing happened.
What a romantic story about our son killing a room full of people.
I don't care if they were technically in self-defense. Morty just admitted to multiple murders while casually playing whatever the fork this board game is, and no one cares? And no, Jerry and Beth, that quip and those mildly withering stares do not count as disapproval.
I only want to spend as much time as possible with your son.
My son is 14, miss.
I'm really glad that someone is finally addressing the underage elephant in the room. But why is Beth, A, the only person to realize that this is sick and wrong, and B, more outraged by this than all of the recently described boner-induced bloodlust?
There's only one solution for Earth's pollution!
Whatever that solution is, I'm fairly certain it lays somewhere on the spectrum after rhyming couplets, but way before multiple homicides. No! Morty is crushed and runs away because Planetina's current body count is 25% higher than his. Competitive relationships like this are so toxic.
This gay sex with my dad is terrific!
Paternal sodomy. Patotomy? So, you know what? There's just some places I will not dip my portmanteaus in.
Oh, gross.
Now you're grossed out, Summer? This is what's pushed you over the line? Not the incest. Not the L-boobs. Not whatever the this was. Swimming through these bodies and kicking this gropey tentacle is what really took the biscuit for you. This works. So why the wasn't it plan A? Is genocide really a palatable price to pay for the sake of Rick's party boner? Let me just grab my phone here. Although both can be cloaca-bearing, this crude drawing is clearly a frog, which is an amphibian, not a reptile. Cap should have antenna caps. No cap. So Beth is standing at the washing station, washing this bloody body part, which she then throws away. She turns back to the water to wash the blood off her gloves? But why wash your gloves at all when, one, you're just going to throw them away, and two, you should be washing your hands?
Okay, but we've been here for hours. I don't want to hang out at the stupid horse hospital.
Kids.
What's this thing?
That's a breeding mount.
How are you communicating so clearly with someone who has departed the room entirely? And if the walls are so thin, how does Beth not hear Morty flip on the bang bang badoop bop machine? I can't believe I'm going to ask this question, but since we find out soon Morty is going to the Bojacker, how exactly does he get his Morty Jr. into it? He's practically at eye level with the entry point, drinking directly from the carton while on a lawn chair sitting on a slanted roof.
Come on.
Yeah, because rolling a barrel of horse semen from the street is much easier than backing up the station wagon to the garage. Reading from a great distance away.
You know that race of underground-dwelling cannibal horse people that we're always fighting?
Yeah, the Chuds. What about them?
You can't just take an acronym that has already situated itself in previous pop culture and make it your own. And how would the acronym even work in this form? Cannibalistic horse underground dwellers? It doesn't roll off the tongue in a meaningful or fun way. Cahud might be a terrible movie, but it got here first. Also, what the is up with the security at this horse hospital? No one here finds out a kid is mounting the horse juicer?
Why don't you trust labels?
All right, fine. I won't test it.
Wait, what? Since when does Rick give in to Morty's hysterics? Or even trust labels?
God damn, your generation really picks random hills to die on.
Zoomers.
Can you give me a minute? I'm trying to steer around the bodies of our neighbors. Oh, that felt like Gene.
Knowing your neighbors by the sound their body makes when you run over them.
Space sperm? Sperm from space?
Is anything a stretch for the Smith family? They've seen countless unexplainable things up to this point, so this newest shenanigan should end in a casual shrug.
This is the greatest country on Earth.
It is not. Don't blame me. I'm just quoting Jeff Daniels.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
Oh, look, a fumbling, disheveled, and awkward scientist cliche. Neat.
How do we deal with these orgazogoblins?
Who's going to tell the writers that sperm and orgasms are not synonymous? Just because he oomphs doesn't mean she zoomphs.
It's a fine suggestion, but I doubt their leader will be a sexy queen that needs to be kickboxed.
Sexy sperm queen foreshadowing. Says Queen Shadowing? Queen Zigzaging? Rick and Morty survived this.
No, you're getting dumber because that's a trebuchet.
I guess the show has time to discuss the difference between a trebuchet and a catapult, but not concern itself about the giant hole in the aircraft.
Right to the top, just the way you like it.
Except the water isn't to the top.
Get this guy a Nobel Prize.
You became a woman today.
Yeah, that checks.
So wrong about this guy. He didn't even buy us any time.
Well, maybe run away instead of watching someone attempt to be both the 6 and the 9. The stalling is really on you, Rick.
Silence in the presence of me. I am the sperm queen.
I don't even need to question this one. Title of my sex tape. In fact, a lot of dialogue could fall under many of my titles.
Space sperm? Sperm from space?
Damn, they must be huge. Why would the sperm go to the Grand Canyon?
We'll use it as a placeholder and beat it later.
Right to the top, just the way you like it.
I know how to myself.
You need more than that, dummy. You need a horse. Handjob solo.
How did Dan Harmon get a hold of my stash? I don't know whether to be ashamed or overjoyed.
Why do you have the horse jerk-off machine for my daughter's hospital?
It's kind of weird that Rick knows for certain this breeding machine is the one in Beth's workplace, no?
Oh, but our stallion is already here.
I get that Morty created all of them in the first place, but do they really need Morty to continue their race? Every spermable person could be eligible for this very disgusting, highly sticky, nightmare-inducing situation that I'm totally not signing up for a chance to experience myself.
What was it like?
Fantastic!
Asking your grandson how his sexual experience went.
Sorry, I just thought maybe I could have repeated sex with the horse machine without it becoming Armageddon.
You and me both, Morty. You and me both. Oh, did I say that out loud?
What did you do?
I got out of your eye line.
This show, man.
You can't beat me. You didn't bring a woman that can kickbox.
Totally fair, but also kickboxist. My hands are tied.
Form a perimeter. Protect that egg at all costs.
Or, and this might be crazy, shoot the egg and destroy it.
You slept with my daughter.
I did? Oh, I did.
Chudestiality.
You come to the kingdom of Chuds for forgiveness?
Technically, Rick and Morty were kidnapped to the kingdom of Cahuds, so they didn't come here willingly to do anything.
Chuds don't forgive humans. Chuds eat humans.
This is out there even for us.
It is not.
Right. I love you too, Princess Ponietta.
Lying.
Where did you get all that?
And why aren't they spraying it on the egg?
Take 3 steps back, Amazing Jonathan.
Show proposes the idea that the President of the United States would know who the Amazing Jonathan is.
Let's Nancy Reagan this bitch.
I would say that none of this hopping from sperm to sperm should work, but really we could just say that about the entirety of this show.
Mom, I promise to use condoms even when it's butt stuff.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about tonight.
Waiting this long to talk to your kid about butt stuff.
Always be honest. Sometimes it will hurt people. Sometimes it will help. But always be honest.
Sports Illustrated's Kathy Ireland is making a lot of sense. I don't think we appreciated Sports Illustrated's Kathy Ireland enough in her heyday, and that's 100% a sin. A giant incest baby in space? Still makes more sense than 2001, I guess.
Jerry, can you watch the kids tonight?
Oh,
No, we can't watch the kids. It's guys' night.
Not telling anyone else how to parent, but why is Beth even asking Jerry to watch the kids? Summer's old enough to watch Morty, and they've left the home alone before in prior episodes. I'm just saying this feels like a purely arbitrary way to get Beth involved in some hell-raising activities later on in the show. Also, this dartboard location. Are you sure that's where the grapes go, Morty? Because I feel like they'd feel more at home beside that f***ing fruit bowl that we've sinned before for being in a ridiculous place in the living room, and we will keep sinning until they f***ing remove it.
And they're all crowning. I have to go.
Show leaves the achieving the rare triple crown joke in the stable.
Yeah, most people would call that family. You're so gross.
You have to like it or you're sexist.
That's flatulist. I'm not sure if this creature has a tongue peen or a mouth gina, but either way, this pengina dentata is getting a sin.
Hey, we're in luck, gang. They've got the entire Smash Mouth catalog.
Smash mouth shaming. What? They had that song? You know, the one, there was Haying Now, and they couldn't get enough of their baby, and yeah, they were putting your feet on your eating surface with shoes on.
Is that classic Snake? Boy, that guy just keeps getting bigger.
Commenting on Bruce Chutback's Snake.
Dude, this bitch plays it close to the vest.
Thinking running tap water will drown out the sound of you talking about someone in the next room.
Nuh-uh-uh. Nuh-uh-uh. I said don't touch my shit. Also, I just watched Jurassic Park on cable.
Explaining your references. You could be brilliant, Rick and Morty, but you're a coward. Black Swan.
Seriously, though. Touch my shit and I'll freeze your dick in amber.
So how exactly would that threat stop Summer from touching his shit?
Which means Rick is going to die. because of you, unless you go offline.
This computes.
This computes.
Da bow bow. Oh, yeah.
As much as this Bueller's on for some time, I'm surprised the title of this episode wasn't Rickus Mortler's Rick Day Off Morty. Why would a mailbox society live in buildings shaped like mailboxes? If it were a letter or package society, sure, but do humans design houses that look like giant humans? Dogs maybe, but not humans. Going postal. Summer, Morty, and Chutback survive this. Why is it that whenever the Smiths bring some rando on one of these adventures, said rando is never freaking the f out? Chutback should be chutbacking his pants right now, or at the very least asking how the f they're flying in space.
Except I don't get pleasure from mocking others because I'm not lame.
No sin here, just really great show, being really great. I mean, I have to add a sin or Cindy won't move on, but we're totally not lame. Next.
What is that?
Essence of hell.
How did they get this drink or these cups? They didn't have any of this on them when they entered through the Hell Gate. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I am sure that Morty needs more water intake. He looks like he's peeing orange juice. I hope it's at least pulp-free.
What the hell, bruh?
Thing I say every time there's more than 3 clasps to undo somehow makes it into the episode.
Why would I like a change former? I'm the most powerful car in the universe.
And what? That means you don't have feelings?
Actually, yes, it does. It's a car.
I am a car, not a robot.
Wrong. You're both. A robot's simply a computer that can transport itself and do tasks, which you can. You could have said you aren't an android, since that has more of a human connotation, or you could have said you aren't a changeformer, since that has more of a don't sue us, I swear they aren't Transformers connotation.
Isn't a doorknob a virgin?
Not mine.
What do you expect? I mean, she's my wife.
I almost want to take a sin off for the show pointing out that Borat isn't all that funny, but then again, this made me think of how unfunny Borat is, and that irritated me, so...
Jerry's the best.
Talking about someone in the bathroom not realizing said someone is in the stall and can hear everything being said cliche. Also, how did they not realize Jerry was in the bathroom? These two were outside when he said he had to go pee.
After a week rife with the fetter of sin, I yearn for a taste of his cringe.
Sitting episodes of The Office. Casually dining while face-peeled hellspawn are around. This is gonna lose this place at least one of its Michelin stars. Remember, Beth is just a cartoon. Remember, Beth is just a cartoon. Remember, Beth. Also, there's not nearly explanation enough for how Rick has created these outfits. Is Beth really bleeding? Did they stop at a costume store? Does Rick really have a hole in his midsection now? Is he wearing a marlin? A marlin? There's no marlins in baseball. I mean, hell?
Oh, it's painful, so I love it.
This pleasure equals pain equals pleasure diatribe goes on for all the some time. I think the statute of citations is about up on sending Rick and Morty producing complex devices out of thin air like this arm cannon. So in order not to let it slip by, I'll just point out that something can't come from nothing. Something has to come from something. And you can yell nanotechnology all you want and it still doesn't make it any less of a cheat. Zippers near genitals. And yes, I'm aware most pants already have this. It was always a bad idea.
See? Cringe cannot exist in a vacuum. It needs to be observed.
The TV Sins motto somehow makes its way into this episode.
Like what I did with the chip in her head?
Is she gonna be okay?
Summer is concerned about not Allison Hannigan, but not the sentient alien mailboxes she obliterated earlier.
Could this be the end of Mousetrap nipples?
I mean, one can hope, but because of wiki fan pages and fan fiction, I'm guessing not.
Sorry, I farted.
The rare fart joke bookends. Look, when you bookend with backend, I gotta get some respect. And by respect, I mean sins. The lasers seem awfully close to the large American flag. What if there's a draft? Sure, leave these cameras operational, but shoot the others with utter snot. Makes total sense. Morty's laser cannon is aimed upward, but by the time the beam takes out Abe, Bell, and Liberty, it has managed to shift trajectory enough to cause me to sin every possible person, place, or thing that was in the line of this plot shot. Also, with weapons like that, it almost makes you wonder why taking out any of the other decoy families or sperm monsters in previous episodes was a big deal at all.
It was a Trojan horse, Morty. Never trust the French.
That's racist. Once again, all kinds of is going down at the Smith's house, and there are no nosy neighbors to be seen. Has anyone that works on this show lived in the suburbs? There'd be like a watch party barbecue going on next door with at least 20 to 30 people in attendance. There'd probably even be a bounce house rented to keep the kids occupied.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to me.
Celebrating yourself.
Can't wait to see what a shimmer does to my prostate.
Shimmering your prostate. I don't even know what that means, but certainly it's sinful. Synchronized digital exposition. Sync-digital position?
Coop, not on Thanksgiving.
How would she know who was calling Coop? Does he have a specific vibration pattern for turkey time?
That little race car driver you got bacon in your belly. What world you want him rearing up in?
Parental predestination.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
What happened to the clothes they were wearing? Did they meld into the skin of the turkey? Because when they get turned back into humans later, they're no longer wearing the clothes. Yeah, it's cartoon, blah, 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 but have you watched this channel before?
All due respect, sir, I know flesh when I see it.
Those flesh-covered robots should buy us some time.
But where did Rick get the flesh? You know what? Some things are okay to be left unsaid. I'll still sin it for lack of explanation, but I'll be okay not knowing about Rick's Leatherface practices.
Ship, go stealth.
But only after flying directly overhead so we can clearly see where you are in relation to your mission. And forget about asking how the ship escaped the bubble back home unnoticed. We don't ask those kinds of obvious plot hole questions anymore.
Turkey Marines. The president came to play.
But you knew this already, right? I mean, you did the entire expositional plan thing and even showed
fully armed Marines
who won't recognize me.
So why is shock? Let it be known that it cannot be an official episode of Rick and Morty until a questionable egg dish has been placed on their dining room table.
That's weird. ID chips for Fincher and Rodriguez are glitching.
Yeah, super weird that you've not been monitoring them the entire time. You've turned men into turkeys, people. Watch their vitals. Wearing heels on a lawn. Also wearing socks with heels on the lawn.
Here comes dipshit, right on schedule. Nothing can go wrong now.
Aside from things immediately going wrong, I'm curious how the original plan would have gone from here. In order to be pardoned, Rick would have to be the selected turkey. How does he plan to stand out? How would he have ensured that he was going to be selected? I know it's not sexual favors. Turkeys are notoriously selfish lovers.
Hold your positions, it's a feeding frenzy!
The blueberries have been available in this dish for any of the birds to eat at any point. So why would their sudden presence on the ground initiate a food frenzy? I hate to be morbid, but if you use the angle of the gun barrels as a guide, every bird in this pit should be dead now.
Sir, we are losing the mental game down here.
The mental game? I think your bigger issue is that someone up the chain forgot to mention there were people inside turkeys in this chamber, and that all machine guns should be turned off. Because bird stomachs are just filled with air, so when you punch them, whatever is inside just cannons outward. Super scientific. Does anyone find it suspicious that the laboratory now only has 6 Turkifier thingamajigs? They didn't know 2 of their own wouldn't be returning, did they? But why does this turkey look anything like the president when it's transformed? The pill was simply a transmitter assigned to the president. There was no mention of it being DNA encoded, and why would it be?
Look at this dumb piece of shit.
Earlier, humans had no issue communicating with the Marines in turkey form, but now they can't understand the president. Sounds like a load of turkey to me. So, to be clear, the president planned to straight up murder Rick and Morty for charring a little piece of the Constitution and activating a war machine that he doesn't actually care about in the first place? I know, questions like this matter about as much as questioning fire under the ocean in a SpongeBob episode. But still, why is there fire under the ocean?
I thought we already rehumanized all the Turkified Marines.
Forgetting Fincher and Rodriguez.
I am selling New York to France and giving all of the money to Congress.
I want to sin the idea that these tactics would prove to be this simple, but sadly I'm more inclined to believe they really are this simple.
That's right, murmur. And when you're done, get me some pants.
Perhaps the most confusing part of this episode is how Rick managed to turn the president back into a human without a lab. We skip over any transformation explanation entirely, and you just know that wherever they went had something that would have worked for clothing. But I guess if you have a dick, you really just want it to swing around. There is more bare ass in this episode than both Boss Baby movies combined. Also, why does Rick randomly have suits that fit the president?
There won't be a single bird left in D.C.
Something birds aren't real has been telling us the whole time. I can't stop looking at these two. This man's torso is longer than hers, but her legs are longer than his. And the circular footrests are down so low they both appear to either be very short or the stools aren't made correctly, and wow, his hair grew back quickly.
Sir, we've got Rick and Morty coming in what appears to be an unlicensed Star Wars AT-AT, or as the millennials say, AT-AT.
Ah yes, the is Die Hard a Christmas movie argument for Star Wars fans, except it's even more annoying. Pilgrims of the Corn.
I wish to explode.
This works.
Aw, they love each other.
Perplexing, sure, but even more confusing may be the fact that the far superior race of aliens willingly returns to their secret chamber to re-enter some sort of cryogenic status so they can be called upon again at some point in the future by a civilization that they do not have to support. Kids.
Boob World! Boob World!
Singing in the car. Also, Summer's the person that always holds their note after the song is clearly over to show off. We get it, Cindy. You know how notes work.
No f***ing way. It can't be.
This one's just for the commenters that said that Rick might have missed Jerry being in the back seat in a previous video. Dude just spotted the glint of a Gotron ferret out of the corner of his eye from a couple 100,000 miles away. So I think he could clock Jerry sneaking into the trash saucer after he unlocked it. Chew on that, commenters. Look, no one said I wasn't petty.
It's not a Gotron ferret, Morty. It's the blue Gotron ferret.
So a Gotron ferret then.
That's how it all began. To my sister, it was just another game.
There will be a lot of Morty and Summer narration in this episode. And yes, in the end, they make fun of the fact that there was so much narration in the episode. So one might think that we would let that go. But one is naive and will receive 20 dings as your sentence. Show thinks it's all cute, including snippets of actual episodes in the opening credits. But now that we're here, this section is redundant and therefore wasteful and therefore sinned.
Mine smells skeleton-y.
Smelling your boot. Not only is that way too much spaghetti and meatballs, but how exactly did they serve themselves off that plate and leave it so undisturbed? And if they got theirs from somewhere else, why did they even make a serving plate at all? The Smith family doesn't know how to food correctly.
Told you. Let's just get Gene from next door and a homeless guy.
Considering this episode decides to have some actual continuity by bringing the incest baby in space back, I'd also like to note in that exact same episode, Rick runs over Gene, and therefore he would not be available for Gotron activities.
Get your asses into some anime spacesuits!
And despite not having been told where they are or given any instructions, they do. Rick's tube sucks the spaghetti off, but doesn't spit any out. Yeah, I heard it too.
Where are we ziplining through futuristic metallic tunnels to?
You're going to the center of a volcano.
Incorrect. The correct answer is you're ziplining to a transport ship that will take you to the center of a volcano. So close, Rick. So close.
Did I just monorail from my kitchen to Hawaii just to regroup in outer space above my kitchen?
Jerry and this show continue to be excellent at TV sins. I swear this show tries to forgive its own sins so much it might as well be, well, organized religion.
Guys, we did our best.
They did not.
Holy shit, I can't believe this is working.
Neither can I. Summer and Morty should either be passed out or vomiting profusely now after being swung around like that. Not to mention they're upside down when being fired. Wow. It's so ridiculous that this group could pull all this off with no training that I'm surprised the show hasn't sent itself for it yet.
How do we just hit buttons? We're too big to fail.
There it is. Holy Sunny D, look at that purple stuff. What kind of circulatory system would be pushing that amount of fluid through it at that pressure? Even with a clean kill, I'm simply not buying this amount of Kai juice. Rick showing affection will never not be weird and will always be a sin. I swear the only alien animation rule for this show is there somewhere you can put a nipple or a nutsack? Then do it! At Nipsack Animation, all creatures large and small deserve vaguely sexual external appendages. Having spaghetti at a cookout.
Hothead Rick, he got that name because he was prone to dramatic outbursts.
Explaining nicknames that need zero explanation.
How they got him, not our problem.
Turning a blind eye to murder. Gotron montage. Goat montage? Gotrage? The last time we saw Morty's Gotron ferret come out of the parking garage, he didn't need to reach for a ticket. He just left. Furthermore, why does he even need a ticket? Are you saying at the end of the adventure he comes back to the parking garage and gets a ticket that he now needs to leave it?
And those Gotrons formed the Go-Gotron.
These transformations make so little physical sense that it's clear this episode attended the Michael Bay School of Transforming Things.
Let's just say we're the rightful owners of these ferrets.
Then why were they scattered and buried across the universe?
Yeah, scattered and buried. Let's go with that.
We mean in a more general cultural sense.
Overly emotive anime shaming.
Are those boob bucks?
How did these three even know he missed out on going to Disneyland? For that matter, how do they even know they have the right Morty?
Morty was supposed to be security.
Morty?
I stepped away, all right?
That's a strange way of saying you were kidnapped.
Dad, you know that's not what I do around here.
No, I'm not your dad. I'm a version of him.
But how does he know that's not his Summer? How does he know that's the Summer that is the Rick second in command? And why do all the Ricks dress differently and have different personality traits, but all the Jerrys, Beth, Mortys, and Summers are virtually the same? I'm not sure how this show ever expects to be successful with this kind of shoddy logic work.
I mean, look at me. I'm easy to make happy, which is why nobody gives a shit if I am.
This statement is so depressingly true, I'm giving a sin for it, which makes me happy, which means no one cares.
But as you guys recall, and as a lot of people keep bringing up, Morty and I did accidentally create a giant incest baby.
Only Rick and Morty could pull off a Chekhov's giant incest baby ex machina through a full minute of exposition and still make me consider removing sins for it instead of adding them. After further consideration, I'm adding the sins anyway because we all have a part to play in this crazy world and my fate was decided long ago. If this is a Gotron from Gotrons from Gotrons, do you know how far a trip it would be from these robotic appendages to the head? No? Me either, but that's not going to keep me from sitting how conveniently fast they got here.
Say hello to my little me!
Title of my sex tape? But how did you get here? Where did you find him? How do you still have your suits? How did you know where Rick would be? Who changes the America diaper if Incest Baby has to launch a missile from his rear port? Man, when it's time to wrap up an episode, Rick and Morty skips all the interesting stuff. Also, this isn't Incest Baby, right? Do incest babies have better capabilities to float around in space without a suit? This baby isn't a space vehicle or The Last Jedi's Princess Leia, so what the heck is going on here? Ratatouilleing your giant incest space baby without explicit consent. Episode does not contain a boob world. Episode expects us to believe that Rick would help pack the car for a trip he's not even going on.
Are you sure, Rick? I know a cruise doesn't sound like an adventure on paper.
What? A cruise only sounds like an adventure on paper. All you can eat food, the ocean views, random encounters with mysterious strangers. It's only once you're on board you realize you're trapped in a floating bacteria prison with half-cooked salmon, the threat of death below and the rocking waves, and a dude named Rusty who can't quit telling you about how his 2001 Ford 150 just crossed 300,000 miles.
Morty, I'm trying to stay humble right now.
Rick for real.
Ionic coaster deployed.
What does Rick need an ionic coaster for when he has so much free space on that workbench right next to him? Garage AI is just showing off at this point.
Approaching pause pregnancy in P-5.
Jesus Christ.
It's worth mentioning every once in a while that despite being here to sin it, the show continues to find new ways to make me laugh. So take your Rick and Morty gets a sin off because it's freaking hilarious cliche and let's move on.
How can a mind be hidden by itself inside itself?
The first question Christopher Nolan asked before starting every screenplay somehow makes its way into this episode.
Suggestion: don't go in.
Right. The AI is loose enough to offer fellatio for its own survival, but still rigid about saying command words like suggestion before every sentence. Pick a lane, shallow Hal.
Yeah, hop to a different timeline. Grab a version of my friend that suits me best. That's not how this works.
And why not? Exactly. Did Rick just place that IV in one movement with no tie-off and without looking? Like, I get that you can do something enough to be good at it, but even the best phlebotomist wouldn't deign to feign the main vein.
Oh, excellent. I get to keep my clothes. I thought for sure I'd have to be naked to go through something this artsy.
Why does Rick care about his clothes? When has Rick ever given a if he's naked or clothed? If you looked up down to free ball in the dictionary, it'd just be a picture of Rick saying wubba lubba dub dub.
Now I got yolk balls.
Title of my sex tape? No, wait, that was Now That's What I Call Yolk Balls 23. My bad.
You see an older version of him come through here?
What?
Talking out of just one side of your bosom. Seriously, you've got two jabber jubblies. Use them both. Opening a porta potty without knocking first.
Why was my 9th birthday party in a pine tree?
Pine Tree Pizza is still at least 19% better than what they serve at Chuck E. Cheese.
So what's my deal? Am I sentient? Do I have free will? Who does?
Covering the same ground as Free Guy.
I'm coming with. Now that I know my life is a lie. Wow, you really are 35.
30-something shaming. Random convenient pants that fit perfectly are random and convenient, and fit perfectly. Also chafing.
Can we both die in here? Are we damaging our friend's brain? I don't know any of the rules.
Welcome to the club. The trick is just to pretend that none of it matters and that making meta jokes about it makes it all okay. But we suck at that, so here's 5 cents.
Situation not looking ideal.
Rick and Bird Person survive this. Also, it's bad enough when human characters talk to themselves as a way to force some exposition, but an AI construct? What kind of a logic chip would have to be installed for a computer to start thinking out loud? Thinking to themselves is their whole gig.
I am Rick's garage.
Oh, like a Jarvis, like Jarvis in Iron Man.
Well, that's a strange way to say, what the f***? This garage with a dying man hooked up to some sort of cyborg bird creature is talking to me. Also MCU nerds.
This is where you being this leads. You're not my fault. I'm yours.
This is all fun self-therapy and all, but Rick isn't engaging with his younger self. He's engaging with how not Michael Keaton's Birdman remembers his younger self. So why his argument?
If you die in your friend's brain, you die in real life.
Citation needed.
Your life isn't real and I didn't save it. Take off all your clothes.
But why all of his clothes? Real Rick already has pants on.
Your values are wrong.
Facebook. This Battle of Blood Ridge goes on for all the some time.
Why would you not revisit this? Oh, I don't know, maybe the ending?
The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, you matter. To me.
Oh, look, the show that spent several seasons teaching me that Rick has exactly zero moral compass and is a complete dick to almost everyone he meets in the service of humor is now asking me to have emotions about this. The answer is no.
Why the f*** are you risking your life for that asshole?
Taking the wrong message from the lesson.
You don't get to tell anyone what's sad, man. You're like a one-man Mount Sadmore. So I guess like a Lincoln Sadmorial.
I mean, the Statue of Liberty was right there, man.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
Do they? It's not like there's ever been a company out there that based an entire t-shirt around one.
Sorry, but we do not get to choose the ones we love.
But we can choose our friends and we can choose our noses, but we should never choose our friends' noses. Wait.
Rick Sanchez, you're under arrest for making me spend 2 years in Earth High School.
I bet this show would be really fun for people who could remember all the details of all the other Tammy plots. I've got the memory of a goldfish, so all those callbacks mean nothing to me. Actually, goldfish have been proven to have better memories than we thought, so maybe more like the memory of a dog, or a bee, or a... What was I talking about again? Oh well, make the noise thing change the number thing.
Oh my god, I'm a memory. We just sat through all that stand-up for nothing.
But in a world where you're aware of multiple universes and multiple yous, why would your first instinct be that you're a memory when you see another Rick come crashing in?
Okay, listen everybody, my name's Rick, and this is my new friend Birdman, and his friends. We all just met at this festival, and we're so high we formed a band.
Oddly enough, this is exactly how Sugar Ray was formed. I'd like to point out that this clock still says 2 p.m., which it said when all of this started. And don't be claiming Inception rules, because Discount Ava had plenty of time to offer B-plot BJs to random passers-by while they were out. And yes, it could just be a dead clock battery, but that's boring. And also means I couldn't give this in. Pretending prisoners have servers that go around and dish out food to the prisoners. Does this look like a white-collar crime prison to you?
Goodbye, Mr. Cookie President.
Electing a cookie as a president. Why would you elect anyone or anything that you know for a fact will eventually crumble? Also, that's not a cookie. That's a wafer. And I will need you to kindly get the f out of here with that nonsense. How does this universe work? The camera is candy, the mic is candy, the gun silencer is candy, and the lollipop appears to be a candy weapon of some sort. So why would a gun or a sword be an actual weapon and not some other form of candy? I'm not sure which is more convenient, that Morty somehow had thousands of gallons of water readily available to dump on a lava monster, that he knew precisely where the lava monster would be, or the portal gun itself. Listen, all three.
Son of a bitch, he marked it!
How is Morty just now seeing this? I assumed the portal gun had some sort of scientific woo-woo that would zippity-zap a portal to life after activating the portal juice, but apparently just falling onto skin activates a portal just fine. We find out in a moment that the opposite side of Morty's hand portal is not connected to a garbage dump, but rather the leg of a stranger. For this amount of garbage to pour through Nick's thigh, he must be buried in trash. But he isn't.
Hey, how do you think I feel? I had the ultimate stash hole, and now I got a kid in my thigh.
First world problems.
Good luck finding someone that can be told 80,000 times how replaceable they are.
Anyone who has ever worked in a call center. Oh, look, a failed attempt at the humorous pull nondescript lever to do something incredibly specific cliche. Good thing it didn't land on Gene, because we know he's dead from that other episode this season. And when we pointed it out before, everyone agreed with us, and no one called us out on it, so I'm sure that won't happen here. Simultaneous crow snatching is severely questionable.
Commence. Bird on a wire.
Scene does not contain a Goldie Hawn or Mel Gibson. Also, when did Rick even train them for this? He literally just caught them outside and brought them in here to begin Pavloving them with the bird feed.
Damn, just like Jackie Chan!
I've always said my favorite Jackie Chan move is the one where the broom comes out of the portal in his hand. Classic Chan. Convenient escape route through the only window on an otherwise windowless building is convenient.
Damn it! He must be showing the gun off to his stupid crows. It's not fair!
Kids. Also, I like Spry's gun hidey holes as much as the next person, but this secret cabinet should have been easily spotted below the table based on how high it lifts. Not drinking enough water. Pee clear, people.
Morty, is that what I think it is?
The perfectly convenient appearance of the very item you were looking for?
What is that?
Nothing.
I find it odd that the game wheel is the first thing the crows fixate on, rather than the anti-crow graffiti all over the walls.
Not now, garbage goober. Get back in your hole.
Rick is a dick to garbage goober.
Our first adventure.
Discounting the psychiatric hospital as an adventure. That's not how extinguished and discarded cigarettes work. I know we're not supposed to question how Rick's magical scientific things do their bullshit, but his arm goes a really long way, and I just don't understand where the mechanical bits are stored when not in use. Pressing something to your face that is dirtier than a toilet seat.
Busted! You don't get it, do you?
How you were able to secure a jetpack and how you've already mastered it in this short amount of time? No, I do not.
I thought we were both victims of Rick's abuse!
Thinking that mutual abuse means mutual friendship. Also, how did Nick track Morty? Being portal buddies doesn't mean they're automatically portal tracking buddies, does it? How does any of this episode work? Morty survives this. For getting to clasp your safety harness. And sure, he's missing a hand, but he didn't even try to secure it with the functional one he has left.
Lucky for me, abandonment's my bread and butter.
If Rick had the multi-gun attachment, why didn't he lead with that when he first got on the ship?
You were supposed to die!
Then maybe next time kill Rick when you have the drop on him instead of tying him up so you can bondly exposit your plan. F***ing humanoid crows.
I'll always be your grandpa, Morty. I'm just kind of obsessed with crows now.
Abandoning your grandson due to a crow fetish. This would mean a lot more if I didn't already know there were more seasons left, and they're not changing the name of the show to Simply Morty or Rick and Crow. Rick will be back, there'll be a reset, and none of this means anything. This is a Rick and Two Crows of lies. I suppose one might think I'm about to remove a sin for this emotional scene of Rick and Morty breaking up, but instead I'm removing one because I appreciate that this show has taught me to not give a shit about anything that happens in it. Shutting off emotions is healthy. Thank you, Rick and Morty. Thank you.
Watch sitcoms on your sneakers!
Can you imagine the amount of neck problems that would exist if this became a reality? Did the Chiropractor Guild sponsor this segment? Show does not contain chapters 1 through 12. This owl does not exclaim loudly and angrily about dropping his cabbages. Oh, come on, you know this flower wasn't here a moment ago. Sure, it looks badass, but we want to see this owl man bloodied and broken at the base of this pummel tunnel.
He's anti-heroic! Run!
Because he took out one of the hinge owls? Is Luke an anti-hero every time he shoots a stormtrooper? Is Bond an anti-hero every time he defenestrates some random Blofeldian guard? Is Uncle Joey an anti-hero every time he insists someone cut something out? Also, why is Blue Goblin Group even running? He's clearly on your side. If you were going to get out of there, I don't think you needed to wait to suss out Rick's anti-hero quotient.
Good luck.
I've never had 1,000 crows fly down my throat before, but if I did, I highly doubt I'd be able to say anything audible afterwards. Also, wasting 1,000 crows when a few grains of rice would have done the trick. What? That's an urban legend? Okay, fine. Then wasting 1,000 crows when a single Alka-Seltzer would have done the trick. What? That's an urban legend too? Well, I guess this is now a sin for any avian-hating society that needs 2 distinct urban legends about how to make birds explode. Psychos?
What's the point?
Here's 2.
I count 8. 9 if you include the sword. Sure, you only use 2 of them for your owl trisection, but how is my 4-year-old nephew supposed to learn to count correctly with this kind of confusing phrasing? Guy who screamed run decided to stay and cheer. Hypocrite.
Oh, 2 crows. You remember Morty?
Crows are not capable of hovering. Also, these Morty cameos in Rick and 2 Crows are forced and getting out of hand. We get it, you used to have this thing with your grandson on a different show, but that's not what this show is about, so let's focus, okay? Episode does not contain a Mr. Mole Map, Paki-chan, or Bubrina the Unrealistic Body Image Witch. Okay, maybe these humanoids have soft round skulls that squish like fruit when they roll on a table, but that is just dumb evolution. Come on, Puss-a-Fur was right there.
You've had 1,000 adventures with these crows.
In 13 episodes?
This may be the last time you ever lay eyes on me.
I hope that's not true, Morty. Because you look like shit, and this is not how I want to remember you.
The reason I choose not to attend high school reunion somehow makes its way into this episode. Setting aside that this isn't even how real crows sleep, does Rick strike you as the kind of person that would be down for this kind of crow habitation agreement? While I appreciate the hilarious live, laugh, love art and the attention to the triad details, my laughter is broken by the much more important fact that crows contain no teeth and have no need for items specially designed to brush them.
We immensely enjoy each other's bodies.
What? Ugh, no.
Kink shaming. Wearing clothes, underclothes for that long. Wait, that's it? The long-awaited Chapter 13 of Rick and 2 Crows ends after just 5 minutes? Who will avenge Puss-a-Fur? Will Mr. Mole Map ever be saved from Captain Eagle Eye's lair? Will the Silver Scurfer find a way to cure his dandruff in time? I guess I'll have to go back to sitting Rick and Morty, but that means a whole new intro to wade through. I guess I could eat the yogurt in the fridge, but what if the yogurt... Show requires watching Rick and 2 Crows Chapter 13 to understand what happened between the end of last episode and now, and why Morty now appears as a middle-aged schlub. Jeez, guys, why all the homework? That seems like it's worth, I don't know, 21 cents? Sure, I should be paying attention to the family's reunion conversation, but why is the wall a watered-down sherbet color? Who purposely paints their walls like this? Thank God this is the last episode of the season. Maybe by season 6 I'll forget this atrocious hue.
Hi, I'm Citadel's new mascot, Andy, because this place wouldn't be home without Rick's Andy Morty's.
Except Rick and Morty never uses an ampersand. It's always the full word and. So I believe this is actually Ampersandy, who has somehow escaped the magic Citadel, home to various pins and or tellers. Morty survives this working.
I'm almost ready to sell out.
So 27-year-old Morty gets clothes that fit, but 40-year-old Morty was given a shirt size too small? None of us wanted to see that discolored and distended midsection of middle-aged Morty.
But the second he reveals he's evil, we're gone.
Show then cuts to an overhead shot of the dinner table that includes a Jell-O mold dish, which is the first reveal that President Morty is evil. I have a hard time believing either Rick or Morty would miss this obvious clue.
Tell me how one might bring down the central finite curve.
All right, time to go, Morty.
I want to know what he's talking about.
Me too. I'm sure it will be a completely coherent story point that I won't need an advanced degree in physics, a few days to rewatch old episodes, and 5 hours of in-depth mining of the Rick and Morty fan wiki just to understand. Glad that would never happen.
Can you give me 10 more seconds?
Literally 10, because now it would be 6.
Nice attempt at being excellent at TV sins, Rick, but that took 2 seconds, so technically you still got 8.
Oh, I'm fine with that. Make it 2.
5.
Like I said, would have been a big help for you to tell me, but I should have everything I need from you now.
If you were stalling to finish Rick's brain scan, then why did you bring up anything that would make him suspicious in the first place? Evil geniuses should be called evil morons.
Check out Season 1, Episode 9, Rickheads. Excelsior!
Ruining the hunt for the true Rickheads who wanted to figure this out for themselves.
This is why we're with them. This is why we're alive. What the f***?
No idea, man. You're on your own with this.
I mean, Dodoy, I'm basically Inspector Gadget.
I would have gone with Inspector Convenience, but fine, sending it either way. Who am I to judge how the writers decide to develop this fight, but also why the f isn't Rick pulling out his big go-go gadget guns right now?
Does he like it? It's a metaphor for capitalism.
I think I've seen this before. You created a being that gets off on you getting hurt and then transfers that energy back to you to use on others. So basically it's 50 Shades of Vibranium? That was close. Let me try that one again. So basically it's 50 Shades of Black Panther and White Panther, because together they are Gray Panther. Damn it, I should have quit when I was ahead.
Tonight, I do that thing I want to do with the curve thing.
Title of my sex tape?
Hopefully we can snag some untainted fluid at the source and get the f out of here.
Title of my sex tape. This lazy f***er.
The whole place is gonna blow.
No, I don't trust you.
Morty just watched a whole slew of Rick and Mortys be devoured by their portals, and he chooses not to trust Rick right now. Rick's only consistency is his desire to survive. But now Morty decides to belabor things. This 2 full minutes of silent backstory is pure cinematic awesomeness. It's moody, propulsive, and informative without the usual clunkiness that comes along with having to do this much heavy expositional lifting. Take a cent off for being true artists, R&M. I mean, R&M. But also, you knew when you did this that I couldn't help but send 2 full minutes of confusing and pretentious exposition summed up as,
whoa, dead wife?
Call me two-faced if you like, but I prefer the term multifaceted. What is this tubey thing, and is it always here? Would you have to drive over it to get to the garage? Will it pop a tire? Why is hose? Casual murder in front of the neighbors is casual.
I feel a lot better having seen all that.
Yeah, so much sympathy and emotion now that I've seen him brutally and callously murder thousands of other Ricks, because how could Rick not? His wife died. I am so moved.
Still got a way out they never thought of. Operation Phoenix.
And f me if I can't remember back 2 years ago as to what that is, huh? I can barely remember the plot lines of shows I watched last week. I throw that stuff in my brain bin and destroy it with fire. Now you want me to recall it by raising it out of the ashes and bringing it back to life like some sort of, fire death reversey bird? Even if I did remember that episode, I'd probably also remember that Mortys were never part of the deal. But I don't. So I'll just send that this Morty has no nipples. I'm going to be honest, I don't have the slightest clue about what's going on here. I think Evil Morty is breaking the curvy thingy that separates the genius Ricks from the dumb Ricks by launching himself towards a space anus fueled by the blood of Rick and Mortys who try to use the Operation Phoenix callback, while our Rick and Morty are trying to escape the resulting gravitational pull by using a Unity metaphor drive booster as the Citadel is flooded and poisoned by portal juice, and Eye Patch Morty finds himself in the quantum realm until he's needed by Vindicator's endgame. I guess I'll just have to wait till the season premiere next season, which I'm absolutely sure will clear everything up. Yay.
God, why do you hate me when I love you so much?
I'm scared, Morty. I can see the end.
Cold, I'm cold. I'm so cold.
Actually, your father and I have been very sex positive lately.
We've been watching pornography.
Hey, man, got a big box of porn for you.
Is that Mr. Nimbus?
Nimbus?
I hear you can talk to fish.
Right there, Sugarhoof.
I'm moving a little slow tonight. I had a hot pocket for dinner.
You will be the one to end our pain.
To the pain.
Decoy family? You made more clones?
You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the world.
What?
Clones?
What?
Copies? What are you talking about?
My spinach pus. Saved them.
That's great. Good job.
Very good job.
Watch it. They're still hot.
What the f you think you're doing down there? You're making decoys?
You make a copy of a copy. It's not quite as sharp as, well, the original.
We can work this out. Just stop trying to kill each other.
The mistake you made was you killed my friend. So, I'm going to kill each and every one of you. And the only disappointment in it for me is that I only get to do it once.
You ever make a copy of a copy?
I like pizza. I like it.
Nice beaver.
Wait, who the f is that?
I am the Borg.
They're heading for Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Where's your costume? This is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac.
We got a baby, a science baby.
What a cute little pink bunny rabbit.
The Langoliers don't even exist. You just made them up.
Storming your castle on my steed, milady.
Mi corazón es a fuego, Julio.
Stop talking like that. I can't understand you.
Everybody look at the moon. Everybody seeing the moon. The moon is white, it's milky white. Everybody look at the moon. Oh.
By your
right. I am Captain Planet.
This gay sex with my dad is terrific.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Collect the whole set.
Last chance to pee on me.
If I had to, I'd pee on any one of you.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
We're touching Rick's stuff.
Summer, he said no.
Nuh-uh-uh. Nuh-uh-uh.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap.
Low-life, butt-faced miscreant.
Butt-faced miscreant.
What if Sydney killed Casey and Steve? Why would she do that? Maybe she had the hots for Steve and killed them both in each other's range.
You're just moody. You got stuck with a marlin.
Give me back that filet-o-fish. Give me that fish.
Nerds. Nerds!
My cabbages! This place is worse than Omashu!
Locate the president's chip.
Roger, roger.
What's our vector, Victor?
I'm here today at the, because the Earth has been attacked. My military advisors at the Pentagram have managed to do the impossible.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
We're 3 across the bed, not a stitch of clothes on.
I made it to Shell City, and I beat the Cyclops, and I rode the Hasselhoff, and I brought the crown back!
Whoa. I think my life is like flashing in front of my eyes.
Since when does this house care about alien lives? We don't even watch British television.
You sound like you're from London.
Go, go, Power Rangers! You're going to the center of a volcano.
I immediately regret this decision.
Sometimes enough is enough.
All right, Hunt. Enough is enough.
We're offering to help each of your families complete their full Go Trons in exchange for some concession.
Why do you have to talk to me like that all the time, Glenn? Like I gotta know something.
Meow, 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 meow.
Remember that time in Puerto Rico when we picked up those two, well, I guess they were prostitutes, but I don't remember paying.
Oh, f*** you.
A wise man's life is based around f*** you. The United States of America is based on f*** you.
Kicking my ass! Do you mind?
Oh, not all at once. And not instantly, to be sure.
Are you sure you don't want to come with us?
Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
Excuse me, did I pick that name?
I have so many names.
I am indeed down to clown.
I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay I just made.
Why was my 9th birthday party in a pine tree?
What you are looking at are memories. In this case, pertaining to one individual.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon.
What? I want you to think about what you've done, Kent. And from now on...
Stop playing with yourself.
It is God.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
We lost Germany. We lost France. If we lose today, we won't get to fight another. I know the pressure on you is enormous. 2 minutes to drop.
Candy citizens, we are going to war.
I have crossed the horizon to find you.
That's how we lost our cable guy.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have come at all. Jerk off!
Stop those portal boys!
That's what they'll call us.
Go, go, Gadget Arms!
Wait, are you my father?
No, but I stole your egg and mutated your brain.
Wow, somebody's been busy.
I did it because you hurt my feelings.
I learned it by watching you.
What? Yes, Log. All kids love Log.
Yeah!
Starlight, mission accepted.
What we can do is break his age in 2 places, remove the middle, and graft its ends back together. That sounds really violent.
Jerome never questioned my commitment again. I took my mind off the pain by reminding myself that when I eventually did stand up, I'd be exactly 2 inches closer to the stars.
Hey, you were supposed to be my lift home. How will I get out of here?
In uncertain times like these, I think it's important for me to say...
My tiny little nipples went to France.
4 stones, 4 crates. 0 stones, 0 crates!
It's just as well. I lied. That second seat's a toilet.
Then I'll see you in hell.